Hey guys, Pastor Lester here. It's another day. It's Friday. Woo! All right, ready for the weekend. Let's do this thing. All right. Well, as you can see, number one, I'm wearing a new hat today, and number two, I'm donning this very nice trench coat, and I'm telling you what, this trench coat is heavy. And behind me, just wanted to show you that 4K look. Isn't that cool? Just God's creation. I could sit and this is what they call planet Earth. Hopefully you can see it pretty good. But 4K, Netflix, it's awesome. This is God's creation. I am in awe every time I every time I sit and watch this. Look at that. Just wonderful. All of His creation around the world. So our planet, not planet Earth, our planet. But anyway, I wanted to read to you today from, let's see, where am I at? I'm in Mark chapter 10 and verse 46. And this is about a man by the name of Bartimaeus, and he was blind. So this is a story about Jesus healing this man. So I want you to get something out of this. Now they came to Jericho. As he went out of Jericho with his disciples. Oh, you're wondering why I'm wearing the coat? Just hold on, I got this. And a great multitude, and blind Bartimaeus, the son of Timaeus, sat by the road begging. So, follow me here. Here's a guy, he's blind, he can't work, so he has to sit on the side of the road and beg for money or for food, and so he was doing that. And when he heard that it was Jesus of Nazareth, he began to cry out and say. Now, he heard that it was Jesus of Nazareth, but he must have heard something about Jesus, that Jesus went about healing people, because no one just says, well, it's Jesus, and they don't know anything about him. He starts crying out to him. But he says, in another gospel, I believe it's in Luke, that has the same story. The Bible says that people are telling him about Jesus and what Jesus did. And here it says, and when he had heard that it was Jesus of Nazareth, Jesus the healer, he began to cry out and say, Jesus, the son of David, have mercy on me. Then many warned him to be quiet, but he cried out even more. He wasn't going to give up. He wasn't going to quit. Why? Because he knew that Jesus had something he needed and something he wanted. What do you want from Jesus? And maybe it's not eyesight. Maybe you have better in 20/20 vision. Maybe it's not that. Maybe it's some healing in your body somewhere else. Maybe it's finances. Maybe it's just peace in your life. Maybe you're dealing with anxiety. Maybe you're dealing with some stress in an area of your life. Maybe your marriage is the proverbial on the rocks. Maybe you're a young person and you feel like the whole world is coming against you. Maybe you feel that school is way too overwhelming. Maybe you're in high school or college. Whatever it may be, whatever you're dealing with. Maybe you have a business and it's just not going well, and obviously right now things are a little different. But what do you need from Jesus? Do you think that the coronavirus or anything that's happening right here Jesus can't deal with? Because he can deal with it all. He's like, look, I've already overcome the world. So check this out. And then he said, so Jesus stood still because he heard him, son of David, have mercy on me. I mean, imagine Jesus is walking and he heard that, and the guy even got louder. And so the Bible says Jesus stood still and commanded him to be called. In other words, he must have been over there somewhere or over there somewhere, and Jesus is right here. And then they called the blind man, saying to him, in other words, they probably had to grab him, be of good cheer, rise, he's calling you. So he rises up, and in verse 50 it says, and throwing aside his garment, he rose and came to Jesus. Why did he have to throw aside his garment? Because it was holding him back. He probably had a garment and he wanted to run to Jesus, and he didn't want any restrictions. And so this coat right here represents restrictions. Now this coat, because it has some wool on the inside of here, as well, it's just an extremely heavy material, and this is a very heavy coat. If I was going to run to something, I would have to shed this coat. I would have to cast this coat down, because this is what is hindering me. What is hindering you from running to Jesus when Jesus says, come, I have what you need? What is hindering you? Could it be some type of toxic thought? How about a lack of trust just in Jesus? Not being able to trust him fully, whether he's going to be able to do it or not, whether you're able to trust the word or not. Or, and I don't mean any disrespect, but maybe you're too dignified. Maybe you feel like you can't run to Jesus and you have to walk and you have to be all prim and proper. But you can't just cast off your garment and then run to Jesus. Maybe it's your time. Maybe it's time. Maybe it's time related. You just don't have enough time. How about all of your to-do list? You don't have that, Lord, I got to do this, or Lord, I got to do that. And Jesus is saying, hey, come, I have what you need. Come and follow me. Jesus is calling. So when he calls, cast off everything. And once you get the revelation knowledge, he has everything, you'll get that back and then some. Because he's the God of more than enough. He wants to be able to take care of you. Why? Because he loves you. And check it out. And throwing aside his garment, he rose and came to Jesus. And Jesus said to him, what do you want me to do for you? And so Jesus is asking you right now, what would you like him to do for you? Name it. Name the thing. And then find it in his word that he promises that he's able to do that. Didn't he promise you that he would give you the peace that passes all understanding? Didn't he promise you maybe you're lacking in the way of love? And didn't he promise you that you'd have the love of God on the inside of you, because God is love? How about the joy of the Lord is your strength? You need joy? The Bible already said he will give you the joy of the Lord, which is your strength. The joy of the Lord. You can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. Remember this word, inheritance. What is your inheritance? Coming from the Father and Jesus Christ and the Spirit of the living God. Here, blind Bartimaeus needed sight. So this is what he said. The blind man said to him, Rabboni, or teacher, or in my little translation here, it says, my great one. I pray that I might receive my sight. Then Jesus said to him, go your way. That's your corresponding action. Go your way. Your faith has made you well. Immediately he received his sight and followed Jesus on the road. See, many people, this is what they do. They ask God for something. They ask Jesus for something. They get it. And they're like, oh, I'm satisfied. I got what I need now. Let me go just live my life. When I love blind Bartimaeus, he continued to follow Jesus. He's like, you have everything I need. Why would I ever leave you? And so those are all spiritual principles. I just want to leave that with you today. Hey, have a great one. I probably won't be on tomorrow, but we will be back here right at Facebook Live. Obviously, due to everything going on, we are not going to be at the church. We will be broadcasting right here, my wife and I, for the church, for Accelerate Church at 10 o'clock on Sunday morning. So enjoy that. I'm going to be putting a link on here today, as well as sending an email out. I've already put it on Boxer for worship songs, and you can just worship with your family with YouTube worship and do it right in your own home. So there you go. It's going to be awesome. Enjoy it. It's going to be a little different, but that's okay. Worship God, either between you and God, between you and your spouse, between you and your family, your brothers, your sisters, your mom or dad, whoever you're with, your children, whoever. Just worship God, love God, and just enjoy this time. Remember, this is a season. This is not the way it's always going to be. This is just a season. This is not, don't make it a lifetime. All right, I love you guys. I will see you then on Sunday. Be blessed. All right, let's do this.